Hi, Stuart Sutton at Agent Finder. Right now, you probably have a reasonable idea of what Agent Finder does for you. The name itself reflects what it does. But let me give you some detail. The combination of artificial intelligence and human expertise, common sense if you will, identifies the very best real estate agents for your specific home and does so in an unbiased way. Think about this. If you had a friend who knew Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett personally offered to help you maximize the growth of your investments, would you turn him down and say, nah, I'll just use my Edward Jones broker? Or what if you knew someone who knew Peyton Manning, and he offered to help your kids learn to throw the perfect spiral? Would you say, no thanks, we'll just let the Pee-wee football coach do it? Well, I'm not Warren Buffett by any means, but I am a lifelong real estate insider. I've sold real estate as an agent for most of my career, having been number one at each of the 3 very large companies I was associated with, and having been a real estate broker managing large numbers of real estate agents, having trained and coached real estate agents for most of my career. Also, I was an appraiser for a short period of time, and that, believe me, comes in extraordinarily handy. Also started a website company with a partner, and we provided services to real estate agents and brokers across the U.S. and Canada. And now I've started Agent Finder. Let me tell you why I started Agent Finder. I got tired of hearing all these terrible stories from sellers about what had happened with a prior real estate agent. This is the most common, believe it or not. Our agent just listed our home, and then we never heard from them. That's just appalling. That's very hard to believe that any agent would do that, but I've heard it so often that I know it's absolutely true. Our agent was not really sure how to price our home, so they just asked us and priced it where we wanted. Now, that can be very costly. An agent needs to have the expertise to show you why your home is going to sell at the value in the market that it's going to, and know how to present that to you. I got tired of hearing this one too. Our agent had open houses and let other agents from other companies hold our house open. True story. A client told me that their prior agent had told them we're going to have an open house. They were excited about it. They planned to leave for the day, were very anxious about what would happen with a good buyer at the open house. When they left the open house, or when they left their home, they realized that they'd forgotten their water bottles. They were going to spend some time in the park, and it was a rather hot day. So they went back to grab those rather than stopping at a convenience store and getting some more. When they got to their home, they saw a different sign from a different company in their yard. And when they went in to get their water bottles, there was a different agent who didn't even know them as the owners. Now, what had happened was their listing agent had been offered by this agent to hold the house open. Their listing agent admitted he didn't even know this agent. So he basically let someone that was not even vetted spend the afternoon in their home for the single purpose of trying to pick up buyers, not trying to sell their home. I hope this makes sense. Also got tired of hearing our agent was a friend or relative and we just wanted to give them a shot. Well, that's a very costly shot, because if your friend or relative is not competent and capable to get your home sold at top dollar, it will cost you dearly. I got tired of hearing our agent wanted us to pay for pictures and staging and things like that, because there are certain things that, well, any agent can model their business however they want. But if an agent is charging a reasonable fee, they should provide reasonable services. I hope that makes sense. Our agent was kind of new and didn't really know how to advise us. Well, remember this stat. 87% of agents do not even succeed in 5 years. Only 13% of real estate agents make it past 5 years. So that new agent is, well, a very small minority if they'd even make it past 5 years. And on and on and on. But here's the final straw. A seller told me that their agent had sent a buyer to their home who didn't have an agent.
What?
And wanted them to show that buyer their home. So not vetting the buyer, just sending them to the home and wanted the seller to show it to them. That is irresponsible and unprofessional, and that was quite sincerely the final straw. So I started Agent Finder. Bottom line is this: what are the best ways for you to find a real estate agent? Well, reviews online can be one, but I'm going to tell you, real estate agents don't tend to put reviews that are anything but positive. And real estate agents do have some control over what reviews go online. It is very well known in the real estate industry that most people don't give you a review unless you ask. So do you think real estate agents ask people who had a bad experience with them to put a review up? Of course not. Bottom line is that reviews are not dependable. They just show the side that was good, and everyone has a side that is not as good. How about referrals from friends or family? Well, that's a great source too, but certain agents have areas of knowledge. What if the referral is coming from someone that you know who lives in a modest townhome, and you live in a large home on the golf course? It's a very different animal. It's a different market. So referrals are not always dependable either. What about going online and getting those great lists of questions? Well, those are typically written by real estate insiders, so that real estate agents have a leg up when you start asking those questions. Believe me, I've heard them all. One of the most common you're going to hear is something like, how many homes did you sell in the last 90 days? Well, what if one agent sold 5 in the last 90 days and another one sold 15? Well, that doesn't automatically qualify the agent who sold 15 as the best agent for your home. What if the agent who sold 15 homes sold them well below asking, took longer than average, and actually listed more homes than that, and several failed to sell, while the agent who sold 5 listed 5, sold them closer to asking in a shorter time frame, and didn't have any listings fail to sell? How would you compare the agents now that you have the full story? I hope that makes sense. So those lists of questions online are typically very shallow and not worth a great deal. So what about making appointments with those agents who hound you after your home comes off the market or when you sign up on a website? Well, you might want to consider that they're calling you because they don't have a viable business model. What you're doing is simply following up on what we call cold leads. They don't know you. You don't know them. You are just trying to look at houses. But because they don't have a viable ongoing business, they are looking for cold leads, and you happen to be one of them. They might not know anything about your area, or actually ever even haven't been in your area. So reconsider that and think about this. After decades of experience in meeting so many disappointed home sellers, I set up an unsurpassed set of standards. And AI and human expertise identify the best agents for your specific home through these standards. The standards that we set are much higher than you probably would even set for yourself in choosing a real estate agent. They're accurate, they're proven, and they allow us to find the best agent for your specific home. And you're not going to find them on lists of questions that you find online on websites for realtors or other portals. They're just not there. We've identified these standards through extensive research, and we know that meeting these standards is going to provide you an agent with the best chance to get you to a successful closing. So why is the Agent Finder process more successful? Basically because no one else has created this type of process to identify the best agent for your specific home. Now, can we look at all the awards that are given to the community and the agent that sells the most homes? Well, sure. That's not always a person who's best for your home, though. As a matter of fact, it's shocking how often it's not that person who's best for your specific home. So, who isn't Agent Finder for? Well, if you have a real estate agent that you trust, stick with them.
Oh, yeah!
It's not easy to find one of those. But if you don't have an agent that you trust to get you to a successful closing, Agent Finder is a great option for you. It's also a super opportunity for anyone who's had a home fail to sell in the past and aren't really quite sure how do I find a great agent this next time so my home doesn't fail to sell again? And how about anyone with a unique home? It's awesome for that. In other words, if you own a home that's just not a typical subdivision home, a home, say, on an acre or 2 or 5, or a townhome or condo, or a secure gated community, or a luxury home. Bottom line is that those are unique and sometimes take a unique set of skills and experience to get to a successful closing. So unique homes, homes that has failed to sell, and then anyone who doesn't have a trusted agent already. Agent Finder can help you find the very best agent for your specific home. What's going to happen when you use Agent Finder is that you'll avoid these typical things: lack of communication, excuses, a reactive approach. In other words, they react to your complaints and then do something. A lack of good follow-up, a lack of answers to the questions and challenges that you have and that other agents or buyers have. And maybe they just hold constant open houses so that you think they're working hard for them. Thorough analysis and pricing is very important, and that's what you'll get when you use an Agent Finder referral. Purposeful preparation, preparing your house to show its best on the market. Purposeful presentation, presenting it to show the very best it possibly can. And aggressive marketing to reach the buyers most likely to buy your home. Timely follow-up, of course, great communication, active adaptation. In other words, if there are changes in the market, the agent's already thinking ahead of it, not waiting for you to complain. And then, of course, ultimately, the successful closing. So you'll gain these things by using Agent Finder. One more question. What's in it for us? What's in it for Agent Finder? Well, our fee's paid at closing. We receive it from the agent. Now, you might think, well, if they have to pay you a fee, they're making less money. Well, let me share something with you. Ask any agent in the real estate industry. Any agent who receives a good quality client is happy to pay referral fee. And because ours is less than most, they're thrilled to be part of our system. Because when we refer them to you, they know that you have read and become informed through the information that we provide, and the transaction they have with you is probably going to be smoother than just another cold client that they might receive. I hope that makes sense. Limited time, we have some bonuses for you. I have written a book, this is the second edition, called What Real Estate Agents Don't Tell You. It's not derogatory, I assure you. Not one review or comment I've ever had has complained about it being derogatory toward real estate agents. What it does is share with you things that real estate agents might not share with you, not because they're trying to be malicious, but because they don't know, or it's not in their benefit to share it with you. We're also going to share with you our list of proprietary questions. These are actually just additional questions. Some of them are redundant to what's in the book. But these questions are not shallow, they're not vague, and they give you a great idea of what kind of agent you're working with. And then I'm going to share with you the 5 steps that could make or break your sale. There are a lot of decisions to make in a real estate transaction, but these 5 decisions could make or break your sale, so you'll receive that as well. You're also going to receive information about 1, 2, or 3 real estate agents who have the highest chance of success in getting your specific home sold. You can choose between them. You can interview one or all. Most people, quite sincerely, interview one, and if they like them, they continue and move forward with them. Some people interview more than one, and that's okay. No worries at all. If you interview all 3 and don't want to use one, that's absolutely fine too. No worries. You make the best decision for you. Part of our job is to provide you with great information so that you can use it to make the best decision for you. So, is Agent Finder for you? Well, remember the Warren Buffett example. No, I'm no Warren Buffett, but I have a really good idea of how to find the best agent to help you get your specific home sold and to closing. So, if you don't have an agent you trust, see what we can do for you. There's no cost, there's no hassle, there's no obligation. So go ahead and click next, get the process started. Again, there's no hassle, there's no obligation. See if it's something that works for you. Thank you again for taking the time to listen. And remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day. Bye-bye.